Hey, do you guys remember when Trump first announced way back when he was going to run for president, and it was all like, ha ha, yeah, whatever, yeah, Trump run for president, yeah, in what year, in what century would that be? And then he not only did it, he won. Well, it seemed like the joke about him wanting Canada to become the 51st state seems to not be so much of a joke anymore. How are you guys all doing? Welcome to the channel. I am Ty Smith. You're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man, in which I appreciate you guys all doing so. Make sure that you're following me on the platform you see above and below. Hit the thumbs up button. That way my content can consistently be recommended to you. And when you do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification in the process. That way you will be notified when I post a video. So, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump is, my God, making all kinds of just statements and making statements upon statement that's completely blowing people's minds. The video I posted earlier with him wanting to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, it's blowing people's minds. People kind of like, I don't know. Some folks like, just keep it as it is. It's been like that all of our lives, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's interesting that a lot of people that might say things like that, you guys, there are people out there who also said, what is a woman? What is a man? And these pronouns and stuff like that. So if you can sit there and try to adopt yourself to that sickening ideology that they try to push for the past, I don't know how many years, surely changing to the Gulf of America won't be that hard. Anyway, my point is saying that Trump is making big statements and things that seem to be sticking. So as of late, within an hour's time of me posting that video, Trump posted on Truth Social. He said, many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of Russia and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. Guys, I don't know if that's, I'm just telling you, at first when Trudeau first went to go visit Trump at Mar-a-Lago and Trump said that, it was like, ha ha, he, like we did whenever he was going to run for president. Then he actually did it. Well, you got big tycoons, billionaire Kevin O'Leary, who also wants Canada to be the 51st state too. But anyway, I'm going to read you guys this source right here. So follow along, children. No. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation as the Liberal Party leader in the wake of U.S. President-elect Trump's tariffs, threats, and taunts referring to Canada as the 51st state. It's the end of a 9-year stint in office as pressure grew from within his Liberal Party, which is trailing significantly behind the opposition Conservative Party in the polls. Trudeau 53 says, who will remain the Canadian Prime Minister until the party has chosen a successor, made the announcement from his cottage residence on Monday. Blah, 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 what he said. Party infighting broke out following Trudeau's response to Trump's threat to introduce a blanket 25% tariff on Canadian imports upon taking office January 20th. On Monday, the president-elect took another jibe on Truth Social and said, many people in Canada love the 51st state. It's everything I just wrote. I read off to you guys. What is this? Let me see what this is. President-elect Donald Trump asked if he plans to use military force to make Canada the 51st state. He said he plans to use economic force. He said because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of the artificially drawn line. That's true. And you take a look at what that looks like, he added. And that would be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada, he claimed. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. Now, let me see if y'all can see this video right here.
Mr. President, if we were to work under the assumption that you're serious about making Canada 51st state of the United States, the leader of the Conservative Party in Canada said, under no circumstance will it ever be the 51st state.
Maybe he won't win, but maybe he will. I don't.
You had suggested.
Listen, I don't care what he says.
But Sir Lopez, you said you were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force. because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it.
Now, I wish they would have went on, because I would want to know we spending hundreds of billions of dollars to protect it and we're not getting anything back. I don't know if that's what he was going to say. Let me see. You guys all know about Trudeau quitting. Let me see. After trolling Canada and Trudeau topple, Trump sets his sights on Greenland. Okay, I'm not going to get into all that. I want to try to find a part in there where Mr. O'Leary spoke out and said a few things.
Could be the dawn of a new era for Canada. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announcing that he will step down, which might open the door for resetting the trade relationship with our northern neighbor. Kevin O'Leary, born in Montreal, chairman of O'Leary Ventures. And Kevin, nice to have you back, and good morning to you. Here's what Donald Trump said just yesterday. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariffs. I don't know if they're going to be the 51st state. I mean, you know the subject well. What's the buzz in Canada based on this now, Kevin?
So I was in Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. I had a few moments with the president-elect, and I asked him if he would consider the fact that Trudeau, on Saturday when we were talking, the rumors were that he was going to resign. In fact, he did. I said, well, why not stand down on Canada for the next couple of months while they elect a new leader, like you were elected, with a 4-year mandate? Pierre Poilievre, the new guy, is doing what is the equivalent of a red sweep of Canada. They're going to wipe out the Liberal Party completely. And then we're going to have 2 leaders with 4-year mandates and let these negotiations begin. The trade deficit's primarily on energy. Alberta alone does about $185 billion of energy into the U.S., but we are the largest partners together on Earth, and there's a lot of good things about that relationship. Canadian people are intrigued with Trump's suggestions, not to give up their sovereignty, but a stronger economic union. Low-hanging fruit like combining the currency, maybe giving a couple of seats to the Bank of Canada, the Fed, and then eliminating tariffs on milk and dairy and any east, west, north, south. There's a lot of opportunity between the two countries, and I know Trump knows that. Now, whether my request fell on deaf ears, I don't know, but I would very much like to see just a pause while we get the new guy in place and we go to work. Because I think I'm an investor on both sides.
Yeah, you see a shift going on out there.
I just pretty much wanted to bring this up because I wanted to know, do you guys think that this is actually possible? Not only that, do you think it's possible, right? Will you think it happen? Will you think it will happen, rather? And what would that look like? What would change? That would be one big, huge state, wouldn't it? I mean, it would connect it to that other artificial line up there with Alaska, right? But it's so many complexities that goes into it. Like, how would that whole thing even work out? How would they continue to, guys, there's so much stuff into this as a state. Will they be able to continue to run as a state with the way that their health care is set up, with the way that their way of lives are set up, their monetary system? It's a lot of things that will come into play. A lot of things would have to be completely bamboozled. It would be like a uprooting and completely changing the culture, I think. I mean, they have to start saying words like boat and about instead of saying a boat. I'm joking, y'all. Some of y'all that's not from Canada, I have a lot of friends from Canada. They get it. Some of y'all don't. Put out. Psh. Anyway. Do you think that what Trump said is the truth? Is why Trudeau quit? Because honestly, unless there's other content creators that are out of Canada, I didn't even know that Canada may have even been doing bad. Did you guys? Like, I didn't know that they maybe have been facing any type of financial issues or hardships or anything like that. I just didn't know. I do know that the new guy that they're saying is going to come in, he seemed to be very conservative. I like him a lot, Pierre. Let me say this. Not that I like him a lot. I like what he says a lot. He seems to be the type of person to take things head on. He was hit with some questions. He was like that. Like someone came in and was like, people say that you're trying to do. He was like, what people? He, you know, like news people. He's like, well, what news people? You know, different news sources. What sources? Well, anyway, they're saying that you're trying to take a page from Donald Trump. Well, which page are they talking about? Well, you know how Trump is. You know, I don't know. I like that about him. Check him out, Pierre, guys. And he seems to be the person that's going to be taking the lead. And he breaks some things down really, really, really good based off of how their financial issues are there. For example, the example that he gave is you have 10 apples and you have $10. Each apple costs $1. You go, okay. He said, but what the government does, they print more money. So now you have $20 and you still got those 10 apples. Those apples no longer cost $1 anymore. So in your mind, you're thinking that you got more money. Yes, you do. But if those apples don't cost $1 no more and you paying the same, I mean, if you're paying $2 per apple or even a little more per apple, you're losing. He simply broke it down. He said it's common sense and it shouldn't be that hard, which I completely agree. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting way off. This should be about the whole thing about Canada becoming the 51st state. Do you think it's going to be like a futuristic, serious topic that they're going to be considering? And I'll leave y'all with this. Joe Rogan said, let's do the same thing with Mexico. Woo! Hold on. Woo! I would love to know on his podcast why he thinks that. But that's for another time. You guys let me know what you think about all this by leaving it in the comments below at this video. Don't forget to do what you guys see in that cloud right there if you would, please. And the next video that I will be doing in chronological order will be up here. Variety right there. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. Most of all, praying every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.